Well, my arrogance strikes again. Alright, so I had to make a two-part of the Introduction to Humanities because, I was saying in that last one how, the PA was supposedly so easy and, it was a breeze to get by, so it wasn't even worthy of talking about. Well, I turned in my paper and I failed. And I didn't fail like where you miss one section of it. The whole entire thing came back red. If it was a bar graph on the OA, you would have seen the, not competent at all. And I'll tell you where I went wrong and what you should be aware of in the future. So with that class, it was a philosophy class. So I thought I would hit it with some real razzle-dazzle of philosophy and my opinions on things, and that's not what they're looking for. And this has been the case with all three papers that I've read for WGU. They don't want your opinion. They want matter-of-fact type stuff. They don't want you to explore ideas or anything like that. They want you to answer the questions on the rubric. They want you to go down point by point and say, name a Greek philosopher and one of his philosophies. Then you need to name that Greek philosopher and exactly what he said. They don't want your opinions or what you think or expanding on the idea. It's very matter of fact, to the point. So, for example, if they say, what was one major theme in the classical period, you should start your paragraph out with a major theme in the classical period is, and then go on from there. Like, it is easy, but I don't know. I thought I would expand and, really explore some things, and that's just not what they're looking for, which is fine. But now that I know, and now I'm sharing with you guys, so I thought it relevant to make a two-part of this, just to say that really quickly, for future reference for performance assessments. That way you guys know, just don't try to go big brain on them, just answer the questions and turn in the paper. When I talked to my instructors about what I did wrong on the paper, that's pretty much what they told me is, you wrote a good original paper, but that's just not what they want. So it's like I said in an earlier video, you got to know how to play the game, and that's the way they want the game played. So anyway, I wrote the paper the way they wanted, answered the questions, turned it in, and passed. Moving on, I started this last Wednesday, D075, Information Technology Management Essentials. It's not a bad class. All the things that I read on Reddit and everything like that said it wasn't too bad of a class, As you can tell from my earlier videos, I'm not the most tech-savvy person in the world, and all this is about software and motherboards and CPU and RAM and all that stuff like that. I've never been a big computer guy, I know how to operate YouTube and stuff like that, but I've never been much of a tech guy. So jumping into this was pretty new to me. So as usual, when I jumped into this course, the first thing I did was just go to the cohorts. There's 4 of them. 2 of them are an hour and 2 of them are 40 minutes. So you can knock them out in a few hours, watching all those. I watched all the cohorts, took the PA, and I failed it, but not by a whole lot. The course is very definition heavy, like a lot of other courses in WGU. There's a lot of terminology that you got to learn. So, that in and of itself takes a while just to pick up. I didn't really take any notes on this course because some of them, just from growing up in the 2000s and stuff, and I'm in the generation that grew up with the oncoming of, the computers and phones and everything like that. So a lot of the stuff you kind of know just from, hearing it throughout the years, But there's a lot of other things, like definitions of, actually what CPU and RAM and all those things mean. And then how, like hubs and the edge and, different topologies and things like that. There's a lot of, more intricate things that you have to learn in this course. So after I failed the PA, there's one really good thing about WGU PAs is that all the things that you don't do well on, they give you a little link beside all the sections that say suggested study, and it'll take you right to the course material of the things that you need to relearn or whatever. So what I did is I just went to all the ones that said suggested study, and then I went and then did all the lesson quizzes and module quizzes on those, just to get to re-inform myself. There's a lot of things in the cohorts, or there's a lot of things in the PA that they didn't go over in the cohorts, it seemed like, unless I just missed it. But it seemed like there was quite a few questions in the PA that they didn't even mention in the cohorts, and if they did, I missed it. So this was actually one of the times in my academic career that I actually skimmed through a decent amount of the reading material on all the things that it said suggested study on. But anyway, after I went through all the ones that I didn't do very well on, like I said in earlier videos, I like to keep things fresh in my, take the OA when I have things fresh in my mind. So I finished all those and then immediately scheduled the OA for like an hour later. Took the OA and passed it. I should say that there is a Excel portion in this PA and OA. And unlike other Excel portions, they are not exactly the same at all. They're different, but I think all in all, the OA, I think it didn't align very well with the PA, but I honestly thought the OA was easier, and I did better on the OA than I did the PA. Now, again, I know that there's probably multiple different PAs, and well, it's probably the same PA, but probably multiple different OAs. But as far as my experience, the OA was easier, in my opinion, and the Excel portion was easier. But the Excel, it just goes over all the same things that you've gone on over in the past if you took Intro to Spreadsheets and Principles of Financial and Managerial Accounting. It goes over like 99% of the same stuff and just a smidgen of new things like V lookup and like vertical lookup and H lookup functions. But other than that, like if you've done Excel stuff in previous courses, you'll be just fine with this one. So all in all, the course took me about a week. I could have probably finished it a lot sooner, but just a lot of life was going on these last like 7 to 10 days. You know, I had a lot going on. So realistically, someone could probably knock it out in 3 or 4 days. I should say too also that when I say something is easy or when I say something is hard, I realize that everybody is different. If I come on here and say that a course is easy and somebody goes, oh, I'm going to jump into it thinking it's easy and it's hard for them, I'm not, it's just my opinion. Some things I suck with and some things I'm good at, and I'm sure everybody is some variation of that. So I don't ever mean to demean anybody if I say something is easy and it turns up being not. Just everybody's a little bit different. Anyway, that's all I really have. I'm trying to be quiet. My whole entire family's asleep right now. But the next class I start is financial accounting. So hopefully that one doesn't take too long and I'll come back on here. Again, I appreciate everybody watching my videos and subscribing and liking everything. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I took this test pretty late, so everybody's asleep. That's a good thing about WGUs. You can take the test whenever. I guess that's why they call them night owls. But that's all I have. I'll see you guys on the next one.